Raze empowers your business to raise frictionless capital on your terms. Raze unlocks your biggest assets by turning your revenue streams and equity into capital using dynamic security tokens. Here's how it works. Step 1. Fill out the basic details on the Raze sign-up page and verify. Step 2. Upload corporate and fundraising documents and structure your DST offering. Step 3. Once approved, fill out your story, set a date for launch, and then begin marketing the offering. When your offering goes live, investors will be able to sign agreements and mint your DSTs instantly. Once investors participate and mint their DSTs, it takes just a few minutes for funds to hit your corporate wallet. When you're ready to make revenue or profit distributions, the Raze smart contract will lock funds in your investor accounts until they press claim and withdraw them. Throughout the process, you're in full control. You decide when and how much to raise. Think of Raze as an operating partner that gives you tools to raise capital when you need it, on your terms. Raze today at raze.finance.
All right. How's everybody doing? My name is Brian Anderson, CEO of Raze. Excited to be here today. We've got some of our team members here, which I'll ask to come up here in a little bit. But we're going to present what Raze is. We're a startup company this year, obviously. We actually launched in, really a soft launch in June of 2022 at Consensus. That's when we launched our MVP. I'll give some updates on how much we've accomplished, but I want to start with, what are some of the problems fundraising? How many founders are in the room? Awesome. And I imagine there's some others that have founded companies that have some background. So I personally have found that one of the hardest things to do when you're raising capital is to get access to investors. Deal flow. How do you find investors, right? It's one of the biggest issues that we always constantly see. Number 2, the time to close is constant friction, high friction. It's still an archaic process. You still have lots of documents, lots of back and forth, a lot of middlemen, right? Everybody still needs an attorney when you're doing a compliant raise, but there's a whole lot of constant friction going back and forth. It can take weeks, even months, to take somebody who has given you a verbal to invest in a company to actually close them. And the third is, today you cannot really use your crypto in a private placement opportunity. Meaning, if I want to take my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, whatever it is, and I want to actually invest in a private company like an equity or rev shares or whatever they're offering for investors, it's very difficult, virtually impossible, I would say, to do that in a compliant way because structures and platforms just don't exist today. So how are we solving this? So what we're doing is we're offering a Web3 compliant platform, and I did say compliant, where people can actually raise capital by issuing compliant security tokens. We use a non-fungible token structure, actually. And there's a lot of reasons we do that I don't have time to get into today, but we use a very, very easy, frictionless process to be able to issue your own securities to investors like you normally would when you're raising capital, but you're in control of your raise. You are the one that's actually controlling the fundraise versus handing it off to someone else. We also have a utility minting platform, which I'll mention here in a minute. So second, I just talked about this. Investors can actually use their crypto to invest. We also allow fiat to actually make an investment. Number 3, seamless distributions. There's no sense in using a fundraising platform if you can't figure out how to process a return on investment for the investor later. Our platform allows you, through smart contracts, to actually reward those investors for their investment by using a smart contract to send out revenue shares or dividends or distributions or whatever your actual investment contract says. And all that can be automated. So how does the actual platform work? Here's a quick visual, very basic, high level of what it looks like. Number 1, we have to make sure that you as a company or a founder are doing this in a very compliant way. The way we do this is both with technology and workflow. So The first thing we do is we ensure that you have a private landing page. Think crowdfunding easy, crowdfunding visual, where everything's centered in one place, but this is not a CF raise. I want to be very clear. This is not a crowdfunding raise. This is like Regulation D, like pre-seed or seed capital that you want to actually raise. But it feels like crowdfunding, which is great. So when you're raising capital and you want to send a private link out to an investor, you're actually, at that moment in time, in danger of violating what the SEC calls a solicitation to an unaccredited investor. Our platform puts in lots of different checkpoints to make sure you don't get yourself in trouble. So what we do is give you a private link. It's password protected. By introducing it to someone, they have to be invited to your raise. At that point, the dynamic investment process begins. KYC and AML checks are actually done inside of our platform. Accreditation checks are done inside the platform. The document flow and document signature process, think like DocuSign process, electronically, all done inside the investment process and inside the flow. And then the fun part, actually being able to accept crypto or a wire to complete the transaction. We have an advisor here in the room who's been in the security space for many decades, Wall Street, lots of experience. He called me up before he had committed to be an advisor. He was getting ready to make an investment inside Raze. He called me up and he started laughing and he said, I just did, besides reading the agreement, if we take that part out and the 5 or 10 minutes it took to KYC, I just did a private placement investment in a compliant way in roughly 12 minutes. Now, anyone who's actually tried to raise capital knows that 12 minutes is unheard of. It's not about speed that matters. What matters is how simple was it? Did we lose the investor in the process of trying to raise capital? So we're really trying to keep everybody inside the platform for the company raising money. Next is the investment is successful. What happens now? We're actually dropping in a NFT inside a Web3 compliant platform that shows the proof of their investment tied to their actual investment contract, which references how much money they just invested, which also has the guaranteed contract from a legal perspective. So you've got something tangible that you have like you normally would. Most people that do private investing shove that thing in a drawer or put it in a safe, and that's what they have. We've got a digital contract now that's actually tied and stored on the blockchain, which is pretty powerful. It's obviously on chain, and at any point they can come back inside the platform or via email and actually download that contract. We believe that there's limitless use cases for a minting platform like this, offering utility and membership tokens to raise money, to actually start with a non-securities offering, if somebody wants to actually offer a benefits token, all the way down the pathway of graduating to saying we're ready for an actual raise, and we want to go raise money. And that's where this platform becomes so powerful. Let's talk about revenue shares for a minute. We actually did our pre-seed raise and raised $175,000 in a very short period of time, all compliant. We did that by offering revenue share tokens. We actually still have this open right now for people. And accredited investors came into the platform in our circle that we knew, and they minted these revenue share tokens with a 0.025% commitment on our future revenue in perpetuity. Any company can do this now today with the platform. So instead of giving away equity, you can actually give away top-line rev shares, or however you want to structure the revenue shares, to investors, so you don't have to always give up your equity. So that's just one example. A lot of people ask, how do we make our money? We're a SaaS platform. We get paid when you use the platform. That's it. We don't get paid on success fees or anything like that. What happens is when investors come in and they're actually going to make their investment, they're going to mint their token, we have a 2.5% fee. That's what we charge. It's flat, no more. That's what we want to make. We want to be the utilities, the highways of this entire transaction, and that's our job. That's what we do well, as the software side. We have an absolutely incredible team. It's our biggest asset, of course, is the people. It really is. I really do believe that. This is a great picture down in Austin, Texas, when we actually launched the MVP and did our pre-seed. We've got blockchain experts, Web3. We've got securities experts. We have investors. We have people that are all over the world that are involved in this right now. It's really, truly amazing. And I'm going to ask a couple of them to come up here in a second. What has this team accomplished to date? We've completed our pre-seed raise using our platform. I felt like we'd be a fraud if we didn't actually use our own platform to fundraise. So we did that from day one. So it had to work or we wouldn't raise money. We obviously built a great team. We built a legal framework around this, very important for this kind of stuff. Everybody talks about compliance at all these conferences. Everybody talks about SEC. We read the law and hired a good law firm and went and took the software and implemented it. That's what we felt like was important. Like, let's just follow the law. Let's make sure the software matches compliance, and let's let people bridge from Web 2 to Web 3. Let's not try to accomplish everything all at once. Let's be a bridge from today to where we're headed, and that's exactly what we've done. We've onboarded our first clients, we're revenue positive, and we've onboarded our first major partner. Actually, the Beverly Hills Family Office Association down the street is actually getting ready to onboard some of their investor community, and they've already made referrals from a client perspective that are going to come onto the platform. Where are we headed? We're not going to take a breath until $100 million has come through the platform and been raised. It's not going to be that difficult. I'm not sure how long that's going to take. I think conservatively we can do that in less than 12 months because the average raise is going to be between probably $2 and $8 million, kind of the sweet spot for Regulation D fundraising. We are offering investors, accredited investors, of course, two different opportunities to invest in Raze. Number one, you go to this link right now with the QR code. We're actually doing a tokenized safe offer that we've listed where we're raising $1 million with a 15% discount. And minimum investment's $25,000. But here's what's so cool. We've already had investors do this in Mint. You can go through this process and make a $25,000 transfer, either wire or with crypto, and you literally have just purchased a tokenized portion of our safe. We've fractionalized a safe offer, if you know what that is. But the most exciting raise that we have that is ongoing, that was really the root, I want to give a lot of credit to one of our key team members, Kyle Kemper, who had this brilliant idea, is let's fractionalize our top 10% of our gross revenue of our platform fees, really any way we make money involved in the platform. Let's offer early investors the opportunity to be able to make ongoing passive residual income as we start making money. So you don't have to wait for profits. You don't have to wait for us to sell. You don't have to wait for us to go to IPO. You can literally start making money once we start paying out on this. A fractional gross revenue share by simply minting a token for $2,500. To me, this is the most exciting thing. We've talked to a lot of business owners actually here this week where the light bulb came on and they were like, this is fantastic. If you have a cash flowing business, you can literally fractionalize your revenue instead of just always giving away equity. So we'd love for you to participate if you're an accredited investor. You can go to that link. There is a password that's top line on this one, and then the password is equity on the other one. I want to play a quick video here, but as I'm going to play this, I'd love if you're a member of the Raze team, please come up. Or an investor. Thank you.
Welcome to the Raze Revenue DST offering. You've been invited to participate and share in the gross revenue of Raze. Using this innovative investment instrument, Raze is offering 10% of top-line platform revenue to investors by issuing 400 dynamic security tokens that will receive payouts in perpetuity. For example, an investor who holds 40 revenue DSTs will receive 1% of platform revenue in perpetuity. Investors will be able to claim payouts by signing into Raze and clicking a claim button that will trigger a withdrawal of funds to their wallet. These tokens are available to accredited investors. For this offering, we accept Ethereum, USDC, USDT, and traditional bank wire. In summary, you have an opportunity to purchase a share of Raze gross revenue in perpetuity, and each of these DSTs will yield 0.025% of gross revenue in perpetuity. Below, you will find all the details on the Raze project. When you're ready to invest, simply click on the Invest button, review and sign the agreements, select the quantity of DSTs to acquire, choose the currency you'd like to pay with, make your investment, and receive your DSTs. This is Raze, and this is Frictionless Capital.
All right. Thank you. So I just wanted to end with this because we're looking for investors. We're excited to get to the next level. You can go on and mint right now, $2,500 USDC, get a fractional rev share, or $25,000 minimum investment on our safe. Super excited. We're trying to close this whole round out by the end of this year at latest. That's our goal. We brought Kim up because she is our first client that listed. She has an incredible platform called Red Doors Technology that she's launched. It's in the real estate space. She's about to completely disrupt real estate. We're super excited about that. She just started her Raze. We've got so many people on here, advisors, investors. We've got our lead architect. We've got a team of we have access to roughly 36 development team members around the world. So we have an incredible team that we're just getting started with. So we appreciate your time. I think I'm out of time, but thank you so much. Anything you want to say, Khan? No, you do.
I just want to say thank you to everybody, and a special thank you to Elon and Joseph and Tim Draper, who's not here. Tim has been a light in my life for a very, very long time. But I really want to say thank you to Brian Anderson. I've been around this space since 2013, and I've had a bunch of different projects going up and down, left and right. I've always missed that incredible operator who has a similar vision, who wants to co-create. And this man, Brian Anderson, is an air traffic controller. He's going to make sure we all land safely. And for all the companies who are coming on board as well, don't trust me to be an air traffic controller. I'm great at flying the planes and having a great time, but when we got all those planes flying together, you need someone like Brian in headquarters. And we've got Tim Stoddard here, AKA The Hammer. He is relentless, comes from a long life of securities, Wall Street. He speaks that language like none other. This is Roman. He's our head of development. Yes, I can do that. It's just a matter of time and money. That's what you hear from him. Kim, absolutely incredible entrepreneur. She's new to this space. She doesn't bite. Feel free to talk to her, learn more about everything. Joel is one of our investors. He's a wizard. He's a creator. He's an alchemist. Thank you, Joel. Andrew is our COO and head of onboarding. He's the one who's making sure that all the projects come through, pass the test, and are compliant and have their docs in line so that we can successfully raise. And Brian Anderson is our founder and our leader and our CEO and the man who stands up and delivers these speeches and then allows me to come up at the end and say a few awesome words and play some music and trigger a big stage dive. So thank you so much, Brian, and thank you everybody here for being part of this. Love you all. And you're all invited to participate in Raze and to help become part of this solution that we hope can enable companies and founders to realize their dreams of creating value and changing the world for the better. Thank you.